I grew up in a small neighborhood on the outskirts of Nashville, Tennessee, where the houses were modest, the trees were tall, and the sound of kids playing in the streets was as familiar as the chirping of the morning birds. Life there always seemed simple, yet comforting. My parents, Richard and Laura Evans, raised me with traditional values of kindness, honesty, and most importantly, gratitude for the blessings we had. I didn't always realize how much those lessons meant until I met the one companion who would forever change my understanding of loyalty and love, Max, my golden retriever. I was only 12 years old when Max came into my life. My dad had always been an animal lover, but my mom was cautious. She worried about the responsibility of raising a dog, the mess, the noise, and the inevitable heartache that came with watching a pet grow old. Still, on one sunny spring afternoon, Dad drove home in his dusty old pickup truck with a surprise sitting in the passenger seat, a small golden puppy with floppy ears, bright eyes, and a wagging tail that seemed far too big for his little body. "Meet Max," Dad said with a proud smile. "He's family now." At first, Mom gave him a skeptical look, but Max had a way of softening hearts almost instantly. He waddled clumsily into the living room, tripping over his own paws, and when he reached my feet, he tilted his head up as if to say, "I'm yours." That was it. From that moment forward, Max wasn't just a pet. He was my best friend. Growing up with Max was like living through one long golden adventure. He was always there when I needed him. Whether it was chasing tennis balls in the backyard, running through the sprinklers in the summer heat, or curling up by my side on stormy nights when thunder shook the windows. Max had a habit of sneaking up behind me whenever I was sitting outside, quietly resting his chin on my shoulder. It was his way of reminding me he was there, watching over me, loving me unconditionally. As I moved through middle school and into high school, life started to feel heavier. The carefree days of childhood slowly gave way to teenage struggles, homework, friendships, heartbreaks, and the endless search for identity. But through every challenge, Max was my constant. I'd come home after a long day, drop my backpack on the floor, and sit on the porch with my head in my hands. Without fail, Max would walk up behind me, place his warm body against my back, and rest his head there. That simple act meant more than words could ever express. It was as if he was whispering, "You're not alone. I've got you." When I went off to college in Knoxville, leaving Max behind was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. I knew my parents would take good care of him, but the thought of not seeing his happy face every day broke my heart. During those years, whenever I came home for holidays, Max would run across the yard like a bullet the second he saw me, his tail wagging so hard it looked like it might fall off. And without fail, after the initial excitement of hugs and kisses, he'd walk up behind me, sit quietly, and lean his head against my back, his signature move, his way of saying, "I missed you, and I'll never stop being here for you." Years passed, and Max grew older. His once golden coat began to fade with gray, his steps became slower, and his playful bark softened. I started noticing the way he sometimes struggled to climb the stairs, or how he preferred to lay down rather than chase after his favorite ball. It broke me inside to watch my once unstoppable friend show signs of age. But even in those moments, his spirit never faded. He still followed me around the house, still wagged his tail when I walked in, and yes, still came up from behind to rest his head on me whenever I seemed lost in thought. One memory that stands out happened during one of the toughest times in my life. I had just gone through a difficult breakup, the kind that leaves you questioning everything about yourself. I came home from Knoxville to spend a weekend with my parents, thinking maybe the comfort of home would help me heal. That night, I sat on the back porch staring at the stars, trying to hold back tears. And just like always, Max appeared quietly, as if he had been waiting for me. He pressed against my back and rested his head on my shoulder. I broke down completely, sobbing into the night. But with Max there, I didn't feel weak. I felt understood. That was the gift he gave me, unconditional acceptance. When Max eventually passed away at the age of 15, it felt like a piece of my soul had gone with him. I'll never forget the day. It was a quiet Sunday morning, the sky painted with soft shades of orange and pink. He laid in the backyard, where he had spent so many happy days. I sat beside him, stroking his fur, and even in his final moments, he mustered the strength to lean his head gently against my side. One last gesture. One last reminder of the love he had given me all those years. I whispered, "Thank you, Max, for everything." And with that, he was gone. The pain of losing him was overwhelming, but over time, I came to realize something beautiful. Max never truly left me. His lessons of loyalty, love, and quiet strength stayed etched in my heart. Even now, whenever I feel lost, I sometimes imagine him behind me, resting his head on my back. That memory alone gives me comfort. It reminds me that love, once given, never disappears. It just changes form. Years later, when I adopted another golden retriever puppy, I named him Charlie. The first time Charlie walked up behind me and rested his chin on my shoulder, my heart skipped a beat. It was as if Max had passed on his spirit, his gentle reminder that I was still loved, still never alone. This story isn't just about a dog. It's about the extraordinary way animals can touch our lives, teaching us lessons that no classroom ever could. Max taught me that loyalty isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up, day after day, in small, quiet ways. He taught me that love doesn't always need words. Sometimes it just needs presence. To anyone who has ever loved and lost a dog, you know the truth I'm speaking. Our furry friends never really leave us. They stay in the wag of a tail we see in another dog, in the comfort we feel when sitting outside alone, and in the quiet warmth of our memories. Max's story is my reminder that love, pure, unconditional love, is the most powerful force in the world. And though he's no longer physically by my side, he will always be with me, watching from behind, reminding me every day, you are never truly alone.